Grand Rise is good, folks. Hopefully everybody is doing well and you are doing you in the most bona fide way that you know how. So I had something that I wanted to share my thoughts about something that I feel like, people should think about, or wanted to put something on someone's mind. So like in our culture, as far as, the melanated community and things, there's a lot of challenges with, men and women in relationship and in romantic relationships. And I'm sure, there's a lot of struggles, in that, as it relates to that whole topic. One of the things that I think is an issue, and one of the things I think that women should be mindful of, especially young women, is that, it's okay for you to relax in your femininity, for you to be a woman. Now, I absolutely understand and I get that, sometimes people people function in the way that they function in because, their upbringing or their experiences or their environment, and certain lifestyles and certain environments dictate certain things. That's why I'm coming into, a lot of different awareness and learning that everything can't be judged just based off of the appearance, or, they say don't judge a book by its cover, whether that's in a positive way, a negative way, and something that's very minute, or even in a deep way. So I am very aware and I understand that a lot of people operate, or they function in the way that is what is familiar to them. One thing that I notice is that it's a very common thing in our culture and in our communities where the black woman is like the strong black woman, and she's very independent, she's hyper independent, or they say that she's aggressive, or that she has an attitude, and that she's angry. And if she is angry, I know why she's angry, because I can relate to a lot of experiences that a lot of black women with those that are labeled those things, I can relate to a lot of those experiences, or even have been around people that have. So I'm not a stranger to it. I'm very familiar with the, with certain things that come with that, and certain reasons and ways, and why black women are labeled a certain type of way, or seen a certain type of way in certain instances because of experiences. So, there is an artist that I listened to, and the artist said something along the lines, I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. And it really had me in deep thought. And I thought to myself, one of my thoughts was, that's kind of sad, and it says a lot about the emotional state, the mental state, and the spiritual state of a sister who says something like that. And it really talks about things that actually happened in the past, and experiences, whether that be with our ancestors, our direct relatives, or the experience of that sister, right? She doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve, and respectfully, that should be acknowledged, because she doesn't feel as though she can. So she is expressing in her music such a thing. And I think that even if, because a lot of times women are able to be more soft and be more feminine and less hyper masculine, and that's something that the masculine doesn't understand. Some of the men don't understand that, or the divine masculine probably don't understand that. But if they would learn and acknowledge that sometimes, it's a woman, it's easier for her to function in her femininity, being soft, being less hyper independent, being less masculine, as some people like to call it. You know, my thinking is that it's very important for Black men and women to learn each other, to learn each other's ways, to learn each other's strengths and weaknesses, pet peeves, likes and dislikes, and learning to cohabitate with one another. And even if it's not on a romantic level, just how to learning the ways and learning how to be on the planet together and coexist with each other. So, you know, it, to me, it's kind of sad when a woman says that she can't wear her heart on her sleeve, so as to say that she has to protect her feelings. And I believe that we should protect our hearts. We should protect and have certain boundaries. But at the same time, because we are social beings and because we are loving beings by default, we are supposed to express love and express these soft and good feelings, and we're supposed to express our femininity. You know that things are backwards in a woman and a man romantic relationship when she's being praised, glorified, or being rewarded for behavior that is contrary to her absolute makeup and her design. So when a woman is being hyper masculine, or she's being hyper independent, or she has this attitude and she has this, don't mess with me unless you're doing something for me, unless you can pay my bills, unless you can take care of me, you know, and then the culture and the community actually rewards that. So in turn, that's what a lot of women are doing. They are expressing themselves in certain type of ways, and they are living in certain type of ways, and they're living hyper independent, and they're living hyper masculine because they feel as though that's the only way things are going to get done. And then also possibly her lover, or the person that she is in relationship, her man or whoever, her significant other, whatever she's getting in return is validating the way that she is expressing herself and the way that she is living her life. So I believe that it's very important for the divine masculine, or for the Black men, to learn Black women and to learn your woman, and to provide sacred safety, to provide feelings of safety for your woman, so that she can come down a level. If a Black man wants his woman to be more feminine, to be more soft, and to be a little bit more reserved, or he wants her to be less not hyper independent, and to be more intimate in her expressions of her love and femininity, and opening herself up. People don't open themselves up to things that they are not comfortable with, that they don't feel comfortable with. So if a person is sharing themselves with you intimately and on a deep level, that's because there is a certain level of trust there, and there is a certain level of comfort. That's where intimacy come in at. And where we get it wrong is that we'll skip the learning of the mind, the spirit, and the mental state, and the desires and needs of a person, learning them deeply on a deep level, on a spiritual level, on a friendship level. We skip that. We jump to it's hot, and it's hot and warm, and there's quick feels and there's hot feels. So we're jumping to our animalistic nature. The desire, the feels, the need of the body is not to be diminished, or to be to be deemed as insignificant or invalid. Those things are valid because we are human. So your needs should be met, even when it comes to your physical desires, your physical intimacy desires, or whatever, what have you. But there are layers to that. There are requirements. There are standards for a lot of us. And, when it comes to those things, people should take the necessary steps to get to learn a person, and to learn them on an intimate level. It's not normal. Society has made it normal. But when you talk about the design of a woman and how she's designed and who she really is, it's not normal for a woman to not be able to express and be soft and be able to, the beautiful woman, the sister, she's an artist. She said, I don't wear my heart on my sleeve. but you should be able to wear your heart on your sleeve with someone. It's like, in my mind, wearing your heart on your sleeve or expressing certain levels of the deep parts of yourself, or even being absolutely intimate with someone, that is required of your human nature, darling. One of our requirements is love and understanding, to be accepted. These are basic human requirements, to be seen, to be heard, you know? But if you can't wear your heart on your sleeve, or you can't be safe with anyone, then that means that you are moving about and functioning in the world as an unsafe young woman, or an unsafe young lady. And I think that as a community, we need to figure out the needs and the requirements of one another, where it can be reciprocated, and where we're not being compromised, and where obviously it's not detrimental to the health or well-being of someone. I don't think that there's anything wrong with learning the ways, the desires, the needs of our community. It's actually going to strengthen our community, and trust is a big one. And developing trust, and it's just, sometimes it's just like small things. It starts in small ways, and then being intimate, learning each other, and learning to coexist, versus the competition, and then the mistrust, and then the gossip, and then the competition, and the jealousy, and the envy. And there's just so many different things because of these generational curses that cannot be swept under the rug. You know, there's a lot that the black man wants and requires. There's a lot that the black woman wants and requires. But in my message at this time, the message that I'm trying to convey is that, you know, learning one another is what's going to bring success in black love, or in the union of, you know, the man and the woman. But if people don't see that that's a problem for a woman to say that she can't wear her heart on her sleeve, or that, you know, it's really common in present day time that people are not able to express themselves because they don't feel safe. That's a problem. And that will be one of the ongoing issues, is one of the reasons why it's so hard for, you know, black men and women to not only get in relationships, but to maintain union relationships and, you know, romantic relationships. That will be one of the reasons, because there is a lack of intimacy, there is a lack of trust. You know, I saw a post maybe a year or two ago, maybe even longer than that, but I'm sure some of you guys probably saw the post too. But in the post it said, how about we promote and normalize more marriages versus showing and celebrating more baby showers? And I was like, wow, that's deep. That's really deep. And whether people are married on paper or not, it's really none of my business. And quite frankly, I don't care. I'm in absolute support of the black union, the black family, the nuclear family. And that's why I share messages of, you know, support of black love. I mean, I just love black love. I mean, it's beautiful. It feels good. And what's more beautiful than a black man and a black woman together, right? These are my thoughts. These are my feelings. Hopefully no one is going to be offended by that. But at the end of the day, I'm a black woman. And, you know, people say, oh, you look like you're from the Caribbean. You look like this, you look like that. I've been told I look like everything except for, you know, an American black woman. And though I have, you know, a lot of different things in my DNA or my blood, my mother and my father, when you look at them, they look black and they are black. So I'm a black woman, and I'm a proud black woman. And that's why I speak on things that are relative to the black community, because I'm a black woman and that's what I relate with, honestly. So anyway, yeah, I know that we've come a long way. Shout out to you know, the black folks, because in a lot of places there is stability, and there's a very prominent presence of black marriage and black success and all of those beautiful things. We just have a lot more work to do. So anyways, I just wanted to give that message. I feel like, there's a lot more conversations that need to be had, but there's a lot of bickering, and there's a lot of things that can be deemed as selfish if people just kind of, let down your guard a little bit and just start with the people that you really trust, right? And then just trying to learn to open yourself up a little bit to learning your brother or your sister, or learning the people that you're courting in friendship, or people that you have romantic relationships with, learning to make it your intention to learn them, to get to know them, and then taking the necessary steps going forward, instead of the feel goods and all of the things that lead to the physical intimacy part. That's very important, right? But there should be steps and levels to it, to do it right, to do it properly. And there wouldn't be like unplanned pregnancies, unwanted children, and just a lot of things that it's literally undesired events taking place, right? But really courting somebody, really to getting to know them on a deep level, and then you would like literally waste time. And one of the most common things are people are they're procreating. People are procreating, and then they dealing with the consequences later. Consequences that are absolutely wasn't in the plan, or things that they absolutely didn't want. So there's so much work to do, and there's so many different things that can be applied. There's so many people who are who have great ideas about how we can help one another going forward. But again, one of the basic human needs is understanding. So that's one thing that we have to do. We have to seek to hear, to learn, and to understand one another. And I think that will definitely help us in the future, and in the days to come, and in the future, understanding. So hopefully this word gets to people that are absolutely receptive and are like-minded. And I hope you guys have a blessed holiday for those of y'all who celebrate. Ashe.